Hi, I'm Lisa. As an architect, I haven't just designed buildings, I've meticulously constructed a life that reflects my achievements and discipline. By 32, I was living in a home I had crafted from the ground up, a tangible realization of my dreams. But while I built my way to success, my younger sister, Rachel, took a very different path. At 27, she was still leaning heavily on our parents for support, favoring the easy road. Our relationship had always been a bit rocky, mostly due to Rachel's flair for drama, especially when she felt overshadowed. Still, I tried to keep the peace, offering help whenever I could, though it often felt one-sided. Lisa, you've got it so easy, always so put together. Must be nice not having any real problems. Rachel would tease, her words laced with sarcasm and envy. Trust me, Rachel, I've had my struggles. Just because I don't advertise them doesn't mean they're not there. I would reply, biting back the frustration and doing my best to stay calm. When Rachel announced her engagement to Mike, a guy she'd only been dating for a few months, I felt a mix of hope and skepticism. Maybe this was her chance to finally grow up, to take responsibility. He's amazing, Lisa. You'll see, he's different from the others, Rachel gushed one evening as we sat in my living room, her eyes sparkling. That's great, Rachel. I really hope it works out. I smiled, though beneath it lay a cautious reserve. How did you meet? At that yoga retreat last spring. It was like an instant connection, she explained, her hands fluttering with excitement. Our parents, of course, were over the moon, immediately diving into wedding planning. They had a soft spot for Rachel, always indulging her whims. I, on the other hand, couldn't shake the familiar feeling of being sidelined, the responsible one, the reliable one. Lisa, darling, my mother said one afternoon, her tongue dripping with hope, we were thinking, wouldn't it be lovely to host the wedding in your backyard? It's just perfect. My heart sank. We can talk about it. Let's see what Rachel thinks. As much as I wanted to be supportive, my home was my sanctuary, and I wasn't eager to open it up to the chaos of a wedding. Little did I know, this was only the beginning of Rachel's demands. At a family dinner, the air was light with excitement about the wedding, until Rachel dropped a bombshell. Since we're all here, I have something important to ask, she began, her voice carrying that familiar edge. Lisa, you know how much I love your house, right? It's perfect for Mike and me to start our married life. I nearly choked on my water, coughing in shock. You're joking, right? Not at all, she said, her expression serious. It's way too big for just you. And what better gift than helping your little sister out? Our parents exchanged uneasy glances, clearly torn. Lisa, maybe it's something to consider. It could really help Rachel and Mike, Mom suggested, her voice soft, trying to smooth things over. I looked at my dad, desperate for some support. What do you think? He hesitated. Well, it's an unusual request, but it's also an opportunity to keep the family close. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You want me to give up my home, the one I built from scratch, as a wedding gift? Rachel's eyes widened, feigning innocence. It's not like I'm asking for a handout. Think of it as passing it on to family. Isn't that what families do? Help each other. Helping is one thing. This is something else entirely, I said, my voice growing tense. It's just a house, Lisa. You can always build another one, Rachel replied, dismissive as ever. Just a house. I echoed, feeling the anger rise. You know how much this home means to me. It's not just about the building, it's about everything it represents. Mom stepped in, trying to mediate. Maybe there's a way to make everyone happy. Lisa, could you at least think about it, for the family? As the dinner dragged on, every comment from Rachel felt like a slap in the face, a reminder that my hard work was being diminished in the name of her convenience. You're being really selfish, Lisa. I thought you'd be happy to support me on my big day, she said, her tone dripping with entitlement. Supporting your wedding and giving away my home are two very different things, Rachel, I shot back. Dad sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. Let's not turn this into a fight. Lisa, take some time to think it over. All right, I nodded, more out of a desire to end the conversation than to show any real agreement. As the dinner wrapped up, the weight of the discussion settled on me like a storm cloud. I needed a plan, a way to show everyone the absurdity of Rachel's request without tearing the family apart. That night, lying in bed, the walls of my home felt more precious than ever. The thought of handing over my sanctuary was unthinkable, yet the pressure from my family was palpable. Simply saying no wasn't going to cut it. They needed to see Rachel's true nature, and I had just the idea. After a sleepless night, I made a call to Mike, hoping he might offer some insight. To my surprise, he was just as frustrated as I was with Rachel's demands. Listen, Mike, I began, we need to show her what owning a home really means. It's not all dinner parties and decorating. Exactly, Lisa. She has no idea how much work goes into it. What are you thinking? He asked, intrigued. How about a trial period? Rachel moves in thinking she'll inherit the house. But we set up real-life challenges. Let her handle everything I deal with: bills, maintenance, unexpected repairs. The works. Mike paused before chuckling. You're serious? Like a reality check? Yes. But it has to look like we're being supportive, not setting her up to fail. Can you play along from the inside? Absolutely. I'll make sure she doesn't suspect a thing, he agreed. The next day, I invited Rachel over, masking my true intentions with my best big sister smile. So I've been thinking about your proposal, and maybe there's a way to make this work, I said. How about a trial period? You and Mike move in, handle everything, and if after 3 months it feels right, we can discuss transferring the house. Rachel's eyes lit up. Really? You do that? Of course, but it's not just about living here. You'll have to manage everything: bills, repairs, maintenance. The whole deal. Sounds easy enough, right, babe? Rachel turned to Mike, who nodded enthusiastically. Great, let's start this weekend, I said, hiding my smirk. I helped them move in, presenting Rachel with a detailed homeowner's handbook. Inside were budget sheets, a maintenance schedule, and a list of tasks she'd need to tackle. The first challenge? A clogged sink. I'll just call a plumber, right? Rachel asked, scrolling through her phone. Nope, I replied, handing her a plunger and a wrench. You're going to fix it. That's what homeowners do. Mike reported back to me daily. She's already complaining. Missed her nail appointment because she had to wait for the HVAC guy, he said with a grin. Meanwhile, the security cameras I'd installed for safety caught every tantrum and mishap. Rachel struggled with resetting a tripped breaker, threw a fit over the lawnmower not starting, and had a meltdown when the weekly budget fell short. Each day brought a new challenge, just tough enough to be believable as the normal woes of homeownership. Why is everything breaking? Rachel exclaimed one evening as another appliance malfunctioned. That's just home life, Rachel. Things happen, I said, hiding my amusement. As the weeks passed, Rachel's facade began to crack. Complaints piled up, and her true nature came out. Even Mike was growing tired. This was a good idea, Lisa, but I'm not sure how much more I can take. She's not the person I thought she was, he confided. Just hang in there a little longer, I reassured him. Everyone needs to see this, especially our parents. The final week arrived, and I planned the grand finale, a mock house assessment. The whole family was invited to witness Rachel's progress, setting the stage for what I hoped would be a dramatic conclusion. I set up the backyard like a small festival, with everyone in high spirits, completely unaware of the brewing storm. So Rachel, ready to show us how you've handled the house? I asked, handing her a checklist of the day's tasks. This is ridiculous, Lisa. Why do I have to prove anything? Rachel snapped, her patience wearing thin. It's all part of the trial. Everyone's here to support you, I said sweetly. The first task was a leaky faucet. I had rigged it to be a bit more troublesome than usual, a final test of Rachel's problem-solving skills. Why won't this thing just work? Rachel's voice rang out in frustration as our relatives watched, their curiosity growing. You have to tighten it more, maybe, Mike suggested, trying to coach her without stepping in. I am tightening it, Mike. Nothing's happening, she barked. Next, Rachel was tasked with balancing the monthly budget. I had slightly altered the numbers to make sure they didn't quite add up, testing her attention to detail and patience. This doesn't make any sense. These numbers are off. Rachel shouted, throwing down the pen in frustration. It should all be there, Rachel. Maybe take another look, I urged, keeping my tone calm. I've looked 3 times. Are you sure you didn't mess this up just to make me look bad? The final straw came with the lawn maintenance. Overnight, I had spread fast-growing grass seed, making the yard look as if it hadn't been mowed in weeks. Now for the lawn, Rachel. Seems like it's grown a bit, huh? I remarked casually. This is impossible. It wasn't this high yesterday. Did you do this, Lisa? Rachel's face was a mix of anger and desperation. No, why would I do that? Grass grows, that's part of having a home. I can't do this anymore. You set this all up for me to fail. You never wanted to give me the house. Rachel's outburst caught everyone's attention. Mom and Dad looked on, bewildered by the scene unfolding. Rachel, calm down. Let's talk about this. Mom tried to intervene. No, Mom, you need to see how Lisa has been torturing me with these impossible tasks. She's been setting me up to fail this whole time. What was supposed to be a family gathering turned into a spectacle of Rachel's meltdown. It was difficult to witness, but this was the moment of truth. The chaos revealed not just the condition of the house, but the deeper cracks in Rachel's character under pressure. After Rachel stormed off, the air was thick with tension. Mom and Dad approached me, looking remorseful. We're so sorry, Lisa. We never realized how much pressure we put on you, or how unreasonable Rachel's demands were, Mom said. It's not just about the house, Mom. It's about respecting each other's lives and efforts. I hope Rachel sees that now. Dad nodded, his usual jovial demeanor gone. We've been too lenient with her, always making excuses. It's time we all took responsibility, especially Rachel. Mike, who had been standing quietly nearby, looked exhausted. He spoke up, his voice heavy with resignation. I'm calling off the wedding, Lisa. I can't marry into this dynamic. It's not healthy for anyone. You have to do what's best for you, Mike. I'm sorry it ended this way. Mike gave a weak smile. Thanks for opening my eyes, Lisa. I hope Rachel learns from this. I really do. As the guests left, murmurs of the day's drama filled the air. Once everyone was gone, I sat in the quiet of my home, feeling at peace for the first time in weeks. The next morning, Rachel came down to the kitchen where I was sipping coffee. Her eyes were puffy from crying, her voice shaky. I'm sorry, Lisa. I didn't realize how out of line I was until I saw everyone's reactions yesterday. It's a start, Rachel, but apologies are just the beginning. You need to make real changes. I know, I'm going to start therapy and find a place for Mike and me, well, just me now. That sounds like a good plan. Remember, Rachel, respect isn't given. It's earned. And that starts with respecting yourself enough to take responsibility for your life. Rachel nodded, a glimmer of understanding in her eyes. I'll try, Lisa. Really, I will. As the house slowly returned to its usual serene state, Mom and Dad began to see the dynamics of our family in a new light and started setting boundaries with Rachel. She moved into a small apartment, started therapy, and took a more active role in managing her finances and life. It was a long road ahead, but there was hope she could turn things around. Meanwhile, I reclaimed my space, focusing on my career and personal growth. The entire ordeal taught me the importance of boundaries and the strength it takes to maintain them. In the end, the house remained my sanctuary, a symbol of my hard work and dedication. As for Rachel, with a bit of luck and a lot of work, maybe she'd find her own way, building something truly hers, rooted in reality and respect, not entitlement. What do you think about Lisa's decision to put Rachel through the home ownership test? Was it a fair strategy to expose Rachel's entitlement, or could there have been a better way to handle the situation? Share your thoughts below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more engaging content.